So you're a new real estate agent and you're wondering what it takes in order to be successful nowadays in real estate. So you're probably wondering, how can I be successful as a new or young, whatever you want to call it, real estate agent here in 2021? And I'm going to say, since we're at the end of that year for this recording, we'll say 2022. So if you're interested in that, stick around. What's up, everybody? This is Tim Whittemore with the Whittemore Group here with eXp Realty. We're coming at you, wanted to give you a no BS assessment of what it's like to be in real estate, what it's like to be with a brokerage at eXp Realty. And I come from a background where I know what it's like being at other brokerages. I know what it's like to be a single agent, a team agent, and now a team lead, even an ops manager. I want to give you that sort of background so that you can make the best decision moving forward and have the best tools to be successful. So without further ado, let's get into it. How to be successful as a new agent nowadays, we'll call it. At the recording of this, it was the end of 2021, which was a crazy year for real estate. Now, we thought that because of all these deals that were closing, that we were going to see a big influx of people coming into our real estate market. And what we actually found out was just to the contrary. We actually saw a lot of people dropping out into it, realizing how much harder it is to get real estate deals going. And it was because of all the competition. It was so tough to get into this and win, even if you did have a buyer, which is typically what most people start with. It was tough because you didn't understand the market and you lost out enough of times where it got frustrating and you're like, I can't take it. I can't do this. This is too tough. And without the proper mentorship and support, and without the proper knowledge, a lot of people will fail out. And this isn't like a job. You probably figured that out, or you're figuring this out. It's a career, and you have to go out there almost as a self-employed person. If you don't have the support of your brokerage or your team or your mentor or your coach, it's going to be tough to do so because you don't have an objective analysis of what the heck's going on here. So, well, Tim, what do I need to know to be successful as a new agent here in the end of 2021 and beginning of 2022? Well, a lot of these things have stuck the same throughout here, but the first one that I'm going to say, and probably the most important, is to stay accountable. Stay accountable to your goals. What's that mean? Is you need to have a plan. If you're listening to this and it's the end of the year, the end of the year 2021, what I suggest is to do some business planning. Get with another realtor that does a business plan and put a plan together. Not only that do you need a plan, but you need somebody to keep you accountable. Now, when I say keep you accountable, that could be a spouse. It could be another real estate agent. It could be your manager or your broker at your brokerage that you're at. It could be your mentor if you're here with eXp, or your own coach that maybe you pay out of pocket for. But of all things, having a plan, staying accountable to those plans, and getting out there and doing it every day, being consistent, that's what's going to win at the end of the day. Because it's going to be tough. And it may get better, it may get worse, but this entire industry goes up and down, and you got to be able to sustain through the best of times and the worst of times. All right, so you're still new. One thing that you lack is experience, but that isn't a bad thing. Because you lack the experience and you're not as busy, which is a really good thing, is that you have time. Time to do what? Time to read, time to research. Go on YouTube if you're listening to this, or podcast if you're listening to it. What I really want you to do is learn. This is a great time to learn. And if you can, shadow other agents, be behind them when they're doing a listing appointment. If you know somebody that does buyer consultations, go with them to go do that. Go see showings, all these different things. Try to get as much information, just absorb it. Be a sponge and try to get as much in as you possibly can. This is really, really going to help you out. And that way you can ask tons of questions. When you're in real estate, when you're in the beginning of any career like this, you don't know what you don't know. And there's nothing we can do about that except to teach you. If you're on a team or you're with a brokerage that has the time to put you through a training program and actually give you one-on-one customized training, that will be the difference between you taking off right away versus just floundering out and never realizing this career. Okay, so how do we do that? Biggest thing anywhere, and you've heard this probably so many times if you've done this research. If I'm the first video, thanks for watching, but you've probably heard this all the time. SOI, or sphere of influence, okay? This is where 60% of your business should be coming from, regardless of what stage that you're in. 60% of your business should be coming from your sphere of influence. Those are people that know, like, and trust you, right? And the more people that we meet and interact with or do some other favors for are more people that we can add to our SOI database. The best thing I can tell you is to put them in your CRM. Most brokerages will have one. Here at eXp, we have KV Core, which is an awesome CRM we get for $50 a month. But put them in there and then have that system remind you to reach out to them. Maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once a quarter, maybe it's once a year. Well, I suggest that it's more than that, but something to remind you to keep in contact with them, because you stay in front of them. Not only do you get to possibly get them to go ahead and work with you, but maybe somebody that they know that gives you that referral over. Best part is you didn't pay for that referral. So your SOI is great. And the biggest reason why is that your SOI is your best source to get listings. And right now in 2021, 2022, listings are hard to come by. They're so sparse. But if you can get into somebody and be able to get in front of them and then show them you know what you're talking about, get those listings. Listings are the highest leverage item that you possibly have in real estate. So SOI to get listings should be number one. Maybe you're at a point too where you move to an area and you don't know a whole lot of people. Your SOI is still going to be somebody, so start working on it. Start going to networking events. Start volunteering. Start building friendships and building your SOI. You can do this through what my next thing is social media. So go on to social media and start contacting some people. Start building individual lists on there. And what you can do is stay in front of them, and you could stay in front of them by simply sitting on your couch at home. What we teach is the 10 by 10 by 10. If you can at least get on your social media, right? And you can post 10 pieces of content, you can, which is your stories and all this other stuff. You want to like and react to 10 different people, and also send 10 messages or put on 10 different comments on all different types of posts that are out there, or on stories. The stories are actually really good, especially in Facebook right now, because it notifies them immediately if you love or whatever, react to their story, and it can start a great conversation. Simply telling somebody happy birthday also works very well. Just know that this isn't something immediate, that it's what we call a long tail item that could take some time before you start seeing a return on investment. But as soon as your SOI starts turning as a lead source, it's hard to turn off, which is really good for you as an agent. Okay, so other things that people are going to tell you what to do. Again, this is just a very small portion. I'm going to say 20% is actually going after strangers. Okay, it may be bigger for you, but if that's the case, because you don't know a whole lot of people or you don't want to bug them, it's going to be a lot more difficult, because trying to convert people that have no idea who you are versus people that know, like, and trust you, obviously it's going to be so much better with the people you know versus people you don't know. But still, it's a good idea to get in the habit of going after strangers. Go after for sale by owners or FSBOs, expireds, old expireds, pre-foreclosures, open houses. Get out, go out to networking events, get out and talk with strangers. Try to get face-to-face or over the phone. This is a great opportunity to go out and do your thing as a real estate agent, okay? And if you can make this bigger than 20% of your business? Absolutely do. I can tell you from a story myself that when I first got into real estate and I came down here from New York, I do very, very little people. But what I did is I found one of these things, which was open houses, and I just did 3, maybe 4 a week, as much as I possibly could, because I didn't know anybody here. I would go door to door, I would circle prospectors, which means I called around, and I did this for 6 months before I started hitting momentum, and then closing 3, 5 deals a month, and it just kept going and going. And then in my first year, I closed about 33 deals just from that. And of course, a couple of other different lead sources I was figuring out, but 70% of my business came from open houses. So it can be done. 70% of your business could come from for sale by owners, could be expireds, could be old expireds. But we're talking about 2021 where there's not a lot of expireds, right? Things are selling. But the ones that you can go after are old expireds, like something from a year or 2 years ago. Market went up a lot in that amount of time. So you can have that conversation. Also, for sale by owners, have the expectation that things are going to sell very quickly. And if they're doing absolutely no marketing whatsoever, it's not going to sell that quick, which gives you that opportunity to jump in there and be like, you need somebody to help. And all you're doing is really putting it in the MLS. Hopefully you're doing some more marketing, and your broker, your team lead, whomever, taught you how to do that. And then you'll be able to just take off and look like a freaking rock star. All right, the very last thing I want to talk about that you can add to be successful is, of course, a paid lead sources. When I say paid lead sources, I mean anytime that you put dollars to leads, right? The reason that I don't like new agents doing this is I like them to lead with revenue. There's so many other free resources for you to go out there and get leads before you're paying for them, right? But it seems so easy. I just put money in, I'll get it out. All right, here's the skinny. Here's what you need to know about this. The conversion for a paid lead source will say internet leads. Now, granted, some places like Realtor.com or Zillow will have better lead conversion, but overall in general, you're gonna get tons of emails and phone calls, people trying to sell you leads. Your average internet lead that you're gonna get from Facebook or whatever is a conversion from 1 to 100. Realistically, it's 1 to about 120 if you're not skilled at converting these types of leads. Most internet leads, when they first get on there, are about 8 to 14 months out from actually purchasing. Now, that doesn't mean that you couldn't get somebody right now that's ready to go out and see a home, right? But still, even if they're ready to go see a home, that doesn't mean that they're ready to buy or they have the capacity to buy. So think about it this way. Even when you get skilled at it, every lead that you get when you actually talk to somebody, so we'll consider that, we'll call it a contact. For every 60 contacts with internet leads, you should get 1 appointment for you to go out and either see a home, or hopefully you're sitting down and going over everything, what we call a buyer's consult. And out of those 2 appointments, 1 should go under contract and hopefully go to closing. So 120 contacts, meaning you actually talk to them. Not everybody picks up the phone or answers their text or whatever that you're doing. It actually leads to some sort of closing. So that's a ton of work. Your conversion ratio on average, what the numbers that we saw, was about 1 to 7 for your SOI versus 1 in 120. Is there any other reason I need to mention why you shouldn't be going after your SOI? Even if it's small. You can talk to any of my team members here with the Whittemore Group and they'll tell you, it's like, I only had a little sphere of influence, but it still worked. It's like, I told you. Well, those are the key things that I do have for you on how to be successful as a new or young real estate agent here at the end of 2021 and 2022. If you have any questions about anything we mentioned here, please go ahead and leave it here in the comments below. I personally love responding to you guys and helping you be a rock star out in real estate. And of course, if you have any questions about eXp Realty, what it's like to offer, if you're thinking about joining our team here, or heck, you're just looking for a mentor or a coach, but you still want to be an eXp, you could of course give me a call, contact, find me on social media. We do offer a 90-day boot camp that's self-paced. It's all online for anybody that joins eXp under me that's not necessarily on the team and just needs for that mentorship. So that is a nice little perk to get you to the next level, to expand on the things that we just talked about here. Once again, I am Tim Whittemore with the Whittemore Group here with eXp Realty, and we'll see you in our next video. Take care.